Hey everybody, thanks for coming to Papa's Happy Place. Really glad you came to visit me. Listen, this week I've decided to do a banana bread braggot. I've been sick, guys. I'm sorry I haven't been putting out videos. You can probably hear it in my voice. It's terrible. But I'm getting better. Keep working at this. I'll get it up there. Anyways, I'm going to get to start going at my business here. So, watch the intro. It's coming up. Once you see the intro, then we'll get into the brew day. Okay? So thanks for being here. Okay, I'm going to be going on starting to weigh everything up, get everything all put together so that when I start brewing, everything's all in place. I've got my grains milled, I got all that stuff. I got me a new grain mill, I'll show you that. You all going to appreciate that. And then we'll get at this. I'll be putting some of this on my phone too, so let's get at it. Okay, I'm going to be putting together like 6 pounds Morris Arthur and wheat and everything. And if you look at the recipe, it's all up there. I'll have it linked in the description also. I'm weighing my malts here, and the recipe link is in the comments there. Right here, I'm grabbing some rice hulls. Rice hulls, anytime you're using wheat or oats or anything like that, you definitely want to have something to help create some passages in your grain so that the water can drain through it and your mort can drain through it. So that was what I was grabbing right there. All right, this is me putting together my new grain mill. I just got this from Amazon. I might put a link in the description. Look there. Anyways, what a mill does is it takes your grains and it crushes them down and processes them to the point where you can utilize the sugars in your starches. You convert your sugars from your starches, but your grains have to be a certain point milled out to be able to do that. Normally I use a bucket, but I didn't have a clean bucket around, so I used just one of my smaller mash tuns and collected my grains that way. But you put your grains in the top of that mill them down. You're trying to go for a quarter, maybe a little less. You don't want fine powder, but you do want some smaller particles. So here I am putting them in the top of my hopper. One thing I found about this hopper is not quite big enough for everything, but I can mill up in a couple rounds, so it doesn't hurt nothing. And this one's, you got either a hand crank or you got the old drill that you can use, and just grind them down, processes them, make them the right consistency, right thickness, so that they can be converted in your mash. So I don't know if you can see this from that distance, but
It's a coarse mill that I did on this. So with my brew in the bag, basically in the cooler, this will have some fine particles in it, but I didn't want to go too fine to where I get a stuck mash, especially with all the wheat I had in there. So it's pretty coarse. I do have some fine stuff in there, but that's so that waters and stuff we're using will actually break down this starches in here, and we'll get the sugars out of it. So that's why we actually use the mill, is to take these grains and break them down, and they store a lot better. You won't go stale on you. So I'll get back at it. Okay guys, we're gonna get our water additions ready here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out my water additions from the recipe, which you'll see the recipe probably I already have. And we're going to measure them up so we can put them in our water so that we get the proper mouthfeel of water additions. So I'll get them measured up here.
Alright guys, I use reverse osmosis water when I start. I'm putting 4.5 gallons in this. This is my hot liquor tank. It's also the same thing as my boil tank. So with my cooler system, that's what I do. Just the way I'm working it right now. You can do the same thing with distilled water, but both of them will give you very, very neutral profile to start with. And then you can build your water profile back up how you want it for the style of beer you're doing. So that's the way I do it. You can use just regular water, but I think you get just a little bit better if you build your water profile. Starting to mash in. This is where I'm taking my hot water and putting on my grains. Start them a little hotter than I normally would. And usually the temperature of the grains and the temperature of mash tun, which I preheated. If I bring those down to a certain temperature, it's all calculated with my brew while they're at. But I'm starting to mash in here. So put the hot water in, take a spoon, mix it up, add my grains. Getting ready to start wort off. What I'm doing here is I'm taking a little bit of the wort off the bottom of the grain bed and making sure I don't have any small pieces of grain and stuff in it. And I'll slowly pour it back over the top of my grain bed, and I'll do this multiple times just to make sure that I get nice clean wort and I don't have a lot of the grains down inside my grain bed, inside my boil kettle when I get there. Alright, right here is where I drop my yeast nutrient and my Whirlflock tablet. Get ready to flame out. Get ready to put her in a cooling chest and let it set overnight so I can add some yeast.
Okay, guys, we're there. I'm gonna pull it off. Get my here. I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty foggy there, isn't it? You can see there's a lot of protein starting to coagulate in this. So I hope this one turns out real nice and clear. Looks like it's gonna be a little darker, but you know, with the Braggot, maybe it's supposed to be. I don't know. I'm following just whatever the what the software tells me to put in there. So looks like this one.
I use no cool method, so I cool it overnight. I don't put anything in or have any of my cooling equipment yet. So I use just put it in a plastic container overnight that the temperatures involved is going to keep it sterilized. And this is the next day where I've actually taken and cooled everything off, put it inside, added my yeast, and that night she starts to get going, guys. And this is what a fermentation looks like. That there's the proteins that are mixing around in there. And the yeasties have got everything twisting and turning and converting sugar or converting starches and sugars into alcohol and flavors. This is Papa's Banana Nut Braggot. And as you can see there, that head's coming back down, but I had, well, probably over 5 heads. So a little slightly overcarbonated, guys, but you can still see the bubbles floating up through it, real nice. Good. It's murky, guys. I put the findings to it, and I didn't get nothing to come up out of it, so it dropped some, but it's still a little bit murky, but the flavor's still there, guys. So let me go real quick over what this recipe entailed. This is a banana nut Braggot, and let me pull the recipe up real quick. As you can tell, I'm not very prepared. There we go. Okay, this one had 6 pounds of Maris otter, and it had 5 pounds of wheat, red wheat, 3 pounds of honey, 2 pounds of rice balls. Those didn't give me anything, they just helped me. And then 1 pound of black strap molasses. And that's the grains that went in. Total of 9 gallons of water went in. Now I put my salts in. If you want to, you can look at the recipe. I'll have it down in the description. And I used Bonanza, which is an omega yeast, OYL 400. And it is an offshoot from Hefeweizen, the strain. They've developed this one to flocculate a little better. And it didn't flocculate very good on this one, though. But that's the recipe, guys. If you want to see that, that'll be down in the description. I'll also have a link to it, so for the brew flogger, if you want to try and do this one yourself. Anyways, let's give a quick little tasty for you so that you can, let's see. And to be honest with you, I've drank a few of these, just tasting them, see where I'm at, and so I can, a lot of that has to do with, is it old enough yet. Am I getting them esters? Am I losing stuff? I want it to be ready before I really start drinking it or giving it away to people. That's what I do with most of my beer, folks. I give it away. People that I know, we share. They really appreciate my brews. And it gives me a lot of tasting audience, so I can get some ideas for other stuff. Anyways, this one's got a little sweetness to it. A real full body. Stays in your mouth a long time. Something I set up for my water to get that. Stays there. I definitely got the carbonation on this when you get that. And again, that head stand, nice lacing. I do get a banana, a sweet banana, and like toast, roasted bread. And that's what I was going for. That's what I wanted. I wanted banana and a bread with some sweetness. That reminded me of banana nut bread. And I wanted to make a Braggot because I've made mead in the past, and I wanted to see what that combination was like. Anyways, if you're at this point, and I really want to thank you for being here. Guys, it means a lot to me. I'm making these videos no matter what, but if you want to stay to the end, see what they taste like, then again, if you want to get into home brewing, reach out. There's a lot of people that are sharing right now. We're really a big community, and everybody loves to do this stuff. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people have got into it and really enjoy it. And it's something that gives you a really nice product. And if you drink beer at all, or you drink some kind of other alcohol, a lot of the techniques and everything are all the same. That's where I started, was in making mead, and now I've come over to beer, and I can go back and forth. You can do all that stuff. But again, if you're here, thank you. I appreciate it. Make sure and subscribe. Hit that little bell so that you know when I put out the next one, what's coming up. Because I'm working on these all the time, guys. All right. Thank you for being here, and God bless.